Hi everyone, I hope you guys are well. I'm Cynthia, the Miss Progress Australia 2021. Today we are really proud to be at the Darling Wildlife Range Shelter to actually visit some wildlife animals that have been rescued, even from bushfire or other road accidents. So today I'm here with my sponsor, Marcelo. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I am Marcelo, founder of Play Up with Life. I'm a life coach and a relationship coach, and here I'm to support Cynthia with her project for the wildlife in Australia. And going to Italy next year. I've been Italian myself. I could not be any more proud to support this wonderful girl for the project.
Okay, thank you, Marcelo. And here we have our gorgeous volunteer here. Do you want to introduce yourself today?
Hi everyone, I'm Megan. I'm a volunteer here at Darling Range Wildlife Shelter, and I'm here to show Cynthia and Marcelo around and take everyone on a tour. So I love animals, and I've been around the world volunteering at animal shelters overseas, and that's where I got my love for volunteering at animal shelters. But it just really honed in whilst overseas just how unique our Australian wildlife is and how we really need to protect it. Australia has the highest level of animal extinction of everywhere in the world, so we really need to protect our native animals, and so I just really want to get involved with that, to be a part of that firsthand and to help contribute back to this amazing environment that we live in.
Yeah, sure. So today let's just go ahead in and we will see all the cute animals today.
We've been here since 2006, and we've made some significant changes, adding of new enclosures as well as planting of lots of native plants. Obviously, in addition to helping our wildlife patients, we also aim to help the wildlife that's currently roaming free wild on this property. And so by planting of these trees and plants, it helps provide food and enrichment for the animals in our care, as well as providing habitat for any wildlife that are already living here.
So can you just roughly say what kind of circumstances when they brought in? Like some of them, like from rescue, is it from bushfiring majority, or like road accidents or something?
We get wildlife patients admitted for numerous reasons. Combination of cat and dog attacks, being hit by cars, bushfire victims, just disease as well. Also orphans, so sometimes if a mother possum or kangaroo is being attacked, they tend to eject their joeys, and so sometimes the joeys might be found by themselves, or it's duck season at the moment, so ducks trying to cross roads, parents get hit by cars, and then all the ducklings, if they haven't already been hit themselves, we get them as well. So a combination of injury, illness, and being orphaned.
So Megan,
Yes.
Is there any significant increase in number after the bushfire happening?
Yeah, so after bushfires, obviously, in addition to any injuries they sustain in the actual fires themselves, any animals that aren't even hurt in the bushfires, they still have a greater risk of being affected. Their habitat's lost, their shelter, their food and water is lost. Often in trying to flee the fires, they come close into human areas to seek out food and shelter. And then of course that puts them at greater risk of things like being attacked by our domestic pets, being hit by our cars, and then eating our food, which often actually isn't even good for them. So they get, all sorts of diseases and illnesses. So yeah, even if they aren't specifically directly caught up in the fires, they still are affected by it significantly. So around bushfires, we do tend to see more wildlife patients being admitted, both here and at wildlife shelters in all the surrounding areas.
Yeah, because I have been searching online, and then there have been like massive animals that have been rescued but also got suffer.
Yes.
Aftermath. So Marcelo, do you have what is your thought of bushfire and then environmental issues in Australia?
Well, look, I came to Australia about 27 years ago as a holiday, and then I decided to make this country home. So, and I had the privilege to travel around the country as a truck driver for 6 years. That's one of my life experience, of course. And knowing the country, see parts that no many Australians can get to see. I definitely fall in love with this country, and definitely I like to take part of whatever I can to regrow this country to its natural beauty and respected as we've been asked to respect it by the original owners of this land, but also support the fauna. I personally have a blue-tongued lizard in my backyard. It comes and knocks on my door, and I really enjoy it. Even though I don't pick her up, I don't disturb her, I let it, you know, just talk to her is good enough for me to enjoy the animals that comes in my backyard. But I also experience a national park where I have wild animals coming to me and being able to interact with them. It's such a joy to see such a beauty, such creation. So I really appreciate it, what I see. And yeah, doing my part for this country to regrow the wildlife and regrow this nature is definitely something that is close to the heart as well, because I make this country home as well.
Okay, so behind us here we have one of our kangaroo enclosures. We've got 19 Western grey kangaroos in there at the moment. 19? 19. A lot of kangaroos, and they're very close to release actually, so they're pretty big. So yeah, we'll go in and have a look around, and they'll probably come up to us and say hello. So first things first, upon entry, we have to spray our feet with this F10. It's veterinary grade disinfectant. So we spray our feet with this both upon entry and leaving. And then also just no trying to touch the kangaroos. They are wild. We try and keep them as wild as possible. And then yeah, just have to try not to interact with them too much, and yeah, just let them do our thing and their thing, and we'll do ours. Try not to get your pants. Kangaroos are what we call crepuscular, meaning they're active at dawn and dusk. They will obviously be active at night and during the day, but their main activity is dawn and dusk. Kangaroos are found across Australia. These ones are Western grey kangaroos. There is also a species in eastern states, the Eastern grey kangaroos, virtually this is the same. Western greys are found more in bushland sort of areas, and then of course everyone knows the big red kangaroos. They tend to be the big buff ones that scare a lot of people. They're found in more desert sort of areas. But yeah, these guys, typically any sort of forest bushland area around Australia. Yeah.
So how old are they?
Oh, that is a good question. I know with kangaroos, they tend to be in care for about 18 months before we can release them, usually from when we get them to when they get released. So yeah, I'd say they're probably about 18 months old, just because they are quite close to release. I think that one there is Jack. Jack and Winston were buddied together, so we always try and group our joeys together in pairings so that they learn social behaviours from each other. So they're not fully affected just by us. They'll have each other to learn from. And Jack and Winston are pretty close. So whenever I see Winston, whichever one's always near him, that's usually Jack. And I'm pretty sure Jack is the one that likes to roll onto his back. Kangaroos, I believe, tend to breed all year round.
They don't have a particular reason.
No, well they have, so kangaroos...
They've got a reason, not a season.
Got a reason, yes. Yeah. Kangaroos actually have this really incredible thing called embryonic diapause. And so that means that they can actually pause their pregnancy. So yes, it's quite unusual. So basically, they can get pregnant, and then if the conditions, like, you know, if it's in a drought or basically just whatever conditions in the environment aren't right for them, they can actually put their pregnancy on hold.
This one has broken leg.
Yep.
Mum was hit by a car while he was still in the couch.
Oh.
So this way's quite a badly broken leg picture.
Has he has a name yet?
Sorry?
Has he got a name yet?
Yeah, Pretzel.
Oh no! Pretzel.
Yeah, I've been running out of names. I'm getting desperate.
Sometimes we just name animals after whatever we're craving on the day.
Pizza.
We had a couple of quendas called Taco and Burrito one day.
Oh.
I nearly called this one Taco. I've actually got a list of names that my daughter's done up for me, and I just started from the top and I went Pretzel. Yep, that'll do.
You feed them around the clock. At the moment, he gets fed every 4 hours. So when they're pinkies, they get fed, depending on the size, it could be like 2 or 3 hours around the clock.
Wow. So
It's a big
Oh.
job. You've got fluff all over your face.
So handsome. I see a couple of people that actually sending stuff for you guys, which is quite good. Right?
Yeah, we do get from time to time people bring some things in, which is good. And yeah, even just fruit and veggies, things like that can really help us because we do it tough, don't we?
Yes.
Especially this time of year when it's baby season, we've got so many ducklings and does, and the milk for these guys is so expensive.
Is it like
Really
a
expensive.
special like formula?
Yeah, it comes from the Eastern States and it's a special formula just for the marsupials,
Okay.
just for kangaroos. Yeah, that's my main goal is I do that once or twice a year. I get the whole mob and release them all together, and there's just something surreal about it when they're all
Yeah.
sort of bounding off together, and you think that when it happened, we hadn't have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
done.
nice.
Yeah.
So how does the volunteering like program works, or like placement and stuff? Like if people that really want to like come here and help rehabilitate animals.
They just go to our website. All the information's in there on how to become a volunteer, and then they contact our volunteer coordinator, and then they will fill out some forms, come in, do an orientation, which I'm running on tomorrow. We're open every day of the year. Obviously, we have 2 shifts. We have one in the AM and the PM, and they can choose any day of the week.
Well, Cynthia, you can't take that at home.
I know, so sweet. But one last question though. So kind of like because it's actually sending message to everyone. What kind of like message that you guys want to send like towards wildlife protection, or like any from bushfiring or
Just always be aware of the wildlife that are around you, and be cautious. Try to limit your impact on them. So think about if you use any chemicals in your garden, think about what animals might come into contact with that. Any products you use and how you dispose of them. A lot of thing that we get is plastic ring bottles. If they're not cut before being thrown out, a lot of animals can get caught up in them. So just thinking about that. And then obviously if anyone does find any wildlife needing care, get it to professional wildlife shelters and wildlife carers, and in a pinch vets as well, because vets they have the ability to stabilise them and then get them to wildlife carers and shelters. So yeah.
I probably would say something similar.
Yeah.
One thing that I have is annoying me the most at the moment with people is
The feeding.
rat baits. Like,
yeah.
we are just inundated with animals coming in with rat bait poison, and unfortunately people seem to think that rat bait poison is just for rats, but any animal will eat it. Like all wildlife will eat it if they have the opportunity, particularly things like possums, birds, and then you get your second-hand poisonings and that. A lot of them will say that they won't harm wildlife, but it's absolutely untrue. It will harm. If it can kill a rat, it can kill wildlife, and this is what people are not understanding, and just time and time again just constantly putting rat sack and rat poisons in their roof and wondering why they've got all these dying possums around. But it says in the packet it won't kill the wildlife.
This is how the real world.
I know
business.
that it's just they don't
Yeah.
understand. So that's a message I would just really want people to understand. That any kind of poison will kill a rat or a mouse, or will kill other wildlife.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what the packet says, there's no safe product.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Megan, today so much for taking us for a tour into dehydration wildlife. I think we definitely learned a lot of stuff through your rehabilitation places, and also we really want to send our message for people that actually to protect the environment, not only just wildlife but also plants as well. So if you have any interested in volunteering here, or like just spare some of the time just taking small animals, please just drop by the animal shelter and just find Megan or find Dallas. Okay, I'm pretty sure everyone is all friendly. Yeah.
And if you cannot be here as a volunteer, please donate. The cost for supporting those animals is quite high, and they already dedicate their own time without a payment. They're just giving their heart and soul to these animals to rehabilitate this country with the wildlife and animals. So yeah, just donate whatever you can, whatever you feel, and let's make this country again a prosperous country with the animals and our plants, of course.
Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you haven't watched, please just go on my social media and then just help support for the project. As for the voting, you guys still can go for my Facebook and also Instagram and click on the link and just vote one per day. So it's available votes for every day. Let's just work together and then just get a title for Australia. Thank you.